Hello, Gold participants from around the world. I'm Fiona Langsharp, IBCLC Public Relations Manager and MC for Gold Midwifery. Welcome, everyone. I'm sitting down today with Barbara Harper, one of my idols, and I'm so excited to be catching up with Barbara. It's been a little while, but Barbara and I have spent some time together in the past, and just talking about how our paths have intertwined over the years. So Barbara, thank you so much for being with us here today. It's a pleasure to have you.
Fiona, it just makes my heart sing to be talking to you today.
That's wonderful. Well, I'm excited. I've gotten to speak to you in the past and actually got to do a little course with you about breech water birth. And I tell you, this is one of the things that blew my mind because I had been indoctrinated with, sort of a lot of medical stuff when it comes to breech birth and breech water, or I hadn't even known about breech water birth. So the fact that you're here at Gold Midwifery speaking about breech water birth is just wonderful. And so just so that our listening audience knows what Barbara is going to be speaking on, it's called breech water birth, a variation of normal or emergency. But let's back up our conversation just a little bit, Barbara, and let's chat about Waterbirth International. Now, it was founded in 1988. Can you tell us how it all began and a little bit why of what happened?
Well, by 1988, Fiona, I had already experienced 2 water births myself. My second and third babies were born at home in the water, and it was such an amazing experience. I went to France in 1984 while I was pregnant with my first baby and visited the hospital in PTVA where Michel Audin was working, but he wasn't there, and I got to work with the midwife, Dominique Perret. I also met Frederic Laboyer, and it was such an inspiration for me that I came home and decided to do the water birth by myself if I had to. And so after my second water birth, third baby, I knew that I had to provide information, resources, referrals, and I went about organizing a nonprofit organization, engaged the local midwives, community midwives. I was in Santa Barbara, California. It's interesting that you asked me about this because I've been doing literature searches to make sure that I have copies of every single article that's ever been published on water birth. And I found a reference in the medical library just a couple of days ago, and it was I looked at it and it said Harper B. 1989, and I had published a survey for certified nurse midwives in 1989. I'd done a short article about water birth, and they published a survey about practices, and the opening statement said, Waterbirth International is a newly founded organization whose mission is to provide education and resources for providers and for parents. And that's what we've been doing since 1988.
And it continues to be such an incredible resource for everyone out there. It's a must-go-to website, so everyone should have the opportunity to go and check it out as well. So you have a new book coming out. Yay, it's so exciting, and I'm looking forward to, of course, having it. I would like a signed copy, so I'll probably have to send in for that one. But tell us about this book, Birth, Bath, and Beyond, a practical water birth guide for parents and providers.
Well, Fiona, as the enthusiasm and the interest for water birth grows daily, weekly, all around the world, I answer so many questions every week about professional aspects about water birth. I teach so many seminars, and I decided to compile them all into one place. And the birth is obvious, the bath is obvious, but the beyond is taking us on the journey of the baby. I'm very excited to relay the information about the influences of the primary developmental period on human development. So that includes preconception all the way through the end of the first year. And what we can also do if we don't have the birth that was intended, or as I say to people, it's never too late. It's never too late to take your baby back into the swimming pool and do an infant swim. And this is not for a pleasurable experience. It's actually to correct what we call retained reflexes. And I'll talk about that. I'll concentrate about that in this presentation, because the retained reflexes, when they're not expressed, we as human beings go back to the place where we were stopped, and we have to express those in some way. And we see these little babies go into the water. I work with several different swim school instructors, and they've got it on film. I'm hoping that I can actually upload a piece of that film for this presentation. But if not, it'll be included in the book, and then we'll have things on the website and resources that people can go to. But those babies, if they didn't get to spiral down the birth canal, they can redo it in the water, and it changes the perceptions, it changes the brain wiring, and there's so much you can do with craniosacral and things like that. So yes, I'm excited, and there's a lot of people getting contributions into me and doing interviews with me.
Well, I have to say that it excites me too, because one of the missing components that, I feel like historically we have been missing is, the mental health of our infants post-birth, and like you said, the things that we can correct if things didn't turn out the way that we thought. And so having this whole package pulled together, I tell you, I'll be lining up to have a look at this, because I know for birth workers like myself, we're just always so excited to see, what is happening and what we can help improve as we move forward as well. And so as we move forward with your presentation, Barbara, can you just tell me, I know listening to you before, there's always so many things that you're really excited about. Just excuse me for a moment. Apologies there to clear my throat. I wanted to know, you are always, when you present, and when I've seen you present before, you bring such great enthusiasm, but it's never the same, because for you, you're always evolving yourself. That's how I see you. You're always learning, and you always give back just a little piece that you've learned recently. So can you tell me, what are you most excited about sharing with our delegates in regards to breech Waterbirth?
That's a good question, Fiona. I feel like the thing that I want to share the most is just the normalcy, and the ease with which water facilitates the birth of a breech position of the baby, along with witnessing the primitive reflexes, whether the baby's vertex or whether the baby's breech. And not to give too much away, but just maybe a teaser, the neonatal transitional physiology of a breech baby is exactly that of a water baby. And I'll explain that in the session.
Well, how very exciting to end on a little teaser note there, because of course, we do want all of you to come and join us at our Gold Midwifery Conference and come and listen to Barbara Harper speaking on breech waterbirth, a variation of normal or emergency. So thank you so much, Barbara, for being with us here today. It just has been a delight chatting with you and hearing all of what is coming up and where it all came from. And to our delegates listening out there, we're looking forward to having you at our Gold Midwifery Conference. Bye-bye, everyone, for now.